This week we're going to talk about oncology, and unlike any other medical specialties, oncology isn't based on a particular body system. It actually encompasses all the body systems because cancer can occur anywhere in the body. Cancer arises from various types of cells and tissues that often lend to the name cancer. Neoplasms are any kind of new growing tissue that's not part of the normal body structure. So neoplasia is the process by which a neoplasm develops. Neoplasms are either malignant, which are cancerous, or benign, which are not cancerous. Malignant neoplasms are also known as cancer. The area where the cancerous cell first grew into a cancerous tumor is known as the primary site. When the tumor is still contained in that area, it's said to be in situ. When the tumor spreads or a cancerous cell breaks away and then metastasizes via the blood or lymphatic system to a distant part of the body, that's called the secondary site. So there's always just one primary site, but there may be several secondary sites. Remission is a period of time during which there's no symptoms or signs of cancer. A remission occurs after the successful treatment of cancer, and then sadly we can have a relapse, which is the return of the symptoms or signs of cancer after a period of improvement or even a period of remission. So keeping in mind that cancer arises from various types of cells and tissues, and that cancer begins with just a single normal cell. Cancer is responsible for 20% of all deaths in the US, yet more than half of people who develop cancer have been cured. These are important facts that we have to keep in mind. Let's talk a little bit about how and what causes cancer. How does it come about? So, mitosis is a process where our body cells divide. Mitosis begins in the cell's nucleus as each chromosome makes an exact copy of itself. And remember that DNA molecules split down in length and then rebuild to form a double helix, because DNA molecules are double helixes. So all of the chromosomes and their identical copies then align themselves along a thread-like strand in the nucleus and then separate to opposite sides of the nucleus. Then the entire nucleus and cytoplasm split, and they form two cells with identical properties. They're from that original cell, and they look like the original cell, but now there's two of them. So normal body cells divide in an orderly fashion and in response to a particular need. During childhood, growth hormones cause the body cells to divide rapidly as a child grows. So during that time of growth and times of blood loss, the hormone erythropoietin from the kidneys stimulates stem cells in the bone marrow to divide and produce even more mature red blood cells. So the rate of cell division is different for different types of cells. Skin cells have a high rate because they're constantly being shed from the surface of the body. In contrast to that, muscle cells are going to divide less frequently. Suppressor genes are a group of genes in the DNA of each cell, and they inhibit cell division or mitosis and keep each cell from dividing excessively. So when we take a closer look, there are certain suppressor genes that are most important. There's one called P53, and it's located, we know, specifically on chromosome 17 in every single cell of our body. It's inactive until DNA in the cell's nucleus is damaged. Then the p53 gene activates proteins to repair that DNA. So while the DNA is being repaired, the p53 gene inhibits more cell division or mitosis in order to decrease the chance of producing more defective cells, because remember, they're replicating, making exact copies. Because of that role in preventing the formation of cancer cells, suppressor genes are also known as tumor suppressor genes. So if the damaged DNA can't be repaired, the p53 gene directs the cell to simply shut off, programming its own cell death. And this is called apoptosis. Apoptosis. A-P-O-P-T-O-S-I-S. All right, quick quiz. Here we go. Which cancers are the most common causes of cancer death for women? If you answered A, lung, breast, and colorectal, you are correct. Okay, question number 2. Which cancers are the most common causes of cancer death for men? If you answered B, lung, colorectal, and prostate for men, you are correct. Types of damage to the DNA molecule of the chromosome include genetic mutations that either delete the gene, reverse the normal order, or even just break off segments of genes and then they insert those segments into other chromosomes, all in a process called translocation. So causes of DNA damage include carcinogens, pathogens, or even heredity. You can inherit these things. These cause chronic tissue inflammation, but they don't immediately cause cancer. It's only after repeated exposure that the cellular DNA is damaged beyond repair. So some carcinogens or environmental substances could be chemical carcinogens, which include insecticides and dyes, or radiation, and that could include the sunlight or X-rays, radiation therapy, even nuclear weapons. We have fumes in the air, industrial pollution, radon gas from the soil, cigarettes that release tar and smoke, even car exhaust. There's foreign particles that cause chronic irritation, things like asbestos. And then we have some chemotherapy drugs and even some hormone drugs. Some people even inherit damaged DNA or an oncogene from one of their parents. So if the DNA in a chromosome is damaged and the damaged area includes the p53 gene, then the cell loses its ability to repair itself. The damage remains, and the damaged cell can't stop itself from dividing and producing more and more damaged cells. So more than half of cancer cells have damage to that very gene, that p53 gene. And neoplasm is any new growing tissue that's not part of the normal body structure. So remember what we discussed about neoplasms that are either malignant, cancerous, or benign, not cancerous. But those malignant neoplasms are known as cancer. Table 19.2 gives us examples of genes that are literally caused from hereditary. These are inherited from our ancestors. Things like breast and ovarian cancer, or renal cell carcinoma, or retinoblastomas, even a Wilms tumor. So a carcinoma is a cancer of the epithelial cells in the skin or mucous membrane, and they grow more slowly than, say, a sarcoma, but they occur more often. Carcinomas usually metastasize via the lymphatic system. Epithelial cell origin. The origins, 90% of all of these malignancies are carcinomas. So this is a list on table 19.3 of the carcinomas and the epithelial tissues from where they derived from. So we have things like basal cell carcinoma, and that's a cancer of the deepest layer, the basal layer of the epidermis of the skin. It's a type of skin cancer. We also have cancer called squamous cell carcinoma, and that's of the top layer of the epidermis of the skin. So the squamous describes the cells found in that upper layer of the skin, of the epithelium. And down on the very bottom of this table, malignant melanoma, that's a cancer of the melanocytes, or the melanin pigment cells of the skin. It's another type of skin cancer. Cancer of connective tissue. Connective tissue is like cartilage, bone, tendons, ligaments, subcutaneous tissue, muscles, even nerves. So sarcomas are going to grow rapidly and most often show anaplasia of their cells. Sarcomas usually metastasize to other parts of the body through the circulatory system. About 5% of these sarcomas are malignant. Table 19.4 gives us some sarcomas and the connective tissues from where they come from. And one I'd like to point out is fibrosarcomas, and that's a cancer composed entirely of immature fibroblasts, and those are cells that after they mature are going to produce cartilage and bone. So we do have tissues that are capable of literally differentiating into epithelial and connective tissue. And these cancerous tumors are type of tissue that is going to be found as the kidney, such as Wilms tumor, and that's a cancer of an embryonal cell of the kidney, and it usually occurs in young children. It's also known as nephroblastoma. We can have any kind of embryonal cell cancers, and they usually are going to develop during childhood or adolescence, and it includes choriocarcinoma, germ cell tumors, hepatoblastomas, neuroblastomas, retinoblastomas, and then the teratoma and Wilms tumors. Teratoma is a cancer of the ovary or testes, and it contains cells from other parts of the body. In the ovary, a teratoma can be malignant, but usually is in the form of a damaged dermoid cyst that contains hair and sometimes even teeth. However, a teratoma in the testes is almost always malignant. Well, that takes us halfway through our chapter on oncology. Head on over to your online course and complete some of the activities that will take you into the gross descriptions and the microscopic descriptions, cancer treatments, and pathological conditions that are all associated with cancer.